Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Bropinionated, the show that has nothing to do with everything. I'm one of your hosts, Connor Biddle, and as always, I'm joined by a man who I guess played sports or something, Jesse Biddle. I don't know, though.
So earlier we were talking about something, and it's important for us to talk about it on the podcast. It's another breakfast day.
Another breakfast day for
We're
us.
doing a 7 a.m. pod. It's beautiful. Yep. It's a beautiful day outside.
It is.
In Los Angeles.
It really is,
I'm really painting the picture.
I'm stunned.
Now, we have my wife and I, whose name we don't say on pod, not a sponsor, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
We went shopping recently, and we bought a little stool to put next to our chair for guests to put their drinks on.
Which is right next to me,
Now,
but we're not going to pan down.
Connor came into our apartment, sat in the chair, and I was so excited to watch him put the drink on the stool. Because the effort that it took for us to get this stool is bananas. Okay, I just need you to know that. And you didn't do it. You put it on the ground. And I just felt hurt, and I'd like to talk about it just for a little bit.
Okay, let's air this out. Let's air our sibling grievances out. So basically what happened was I saw it. I clocked that. I thought to myself, that could be for that.
Yeah.
And then I thought, what if it's not?
Mm-hmm.
What if it's actually some really fancy, beautiful piece of tiny furniture that there's no coaster on?
Now, it is a little stool.
Tiny stool.
So what did you think it was for? Did you think it was for our tiny dogs? Or did you think it was for tiny people?
I thought it was for tiny stuff. I don't know, man.
I feel like you're self-conscious because you're shorter than me. And that's what you're making this into. And it's not about that. It has nothing to do with you. This has nothing to do with you. No, I will say the process to get that. So let me just quickly, and this is like very, very, I'll try to be quick here.
All right, I'll time you.
I recently got a Whoop band. Okay, this is where we're going to start the story.
Yeah, okay.
And it is so funny to see the things that it picks up. It picks up activities, so it lets you know when your kind of heart rate is out of normal range. We went to this like very cute store downtown, and I have no idea what we're getting. All right, I just get in the car. I just go along for the ride.
Yeah.
We get to the store. There's all of these little stools, and she's like, "We have to get one." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, we can get a little stool. What? I have no idea what we're gonna use it for." And she's like, we could put like drinks on it for like our guests when they sit in these chairs."
Boom.
And I'm like, "Okay, now we have a worker who's coming with us and helping us find the right stool, and now we have laid out 10 different stools, and they're all different shapes, different sizes, slightly different heights, different widths." And we have all of these stools laid out. We now have 2 workers who have come to help us out. And we are like, we're really going through it. Like, it is unbelievable the process that it takes to pick out the right stool. Anyway, we find the stool, we come home, whatever. And on the way home, my Whoop band is like, your weightlifting activity has just been processed. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I look at it. My heart rate got up to 180 beats per minute. And it for like almost an hour of me lifting stools and putting them down and lifting stools and putting them down.
Oh my God, dude.
It literally just thought I was like in the gym getting a sweet pump session.
Now, is this because you're nervous?
I think it's a lot of things.
I think it's got to be nerves.
I think it's got it.
You're scared about what am I going to do?
Use these for? It was a little over 180 beats per minute, which is
that's
insane.
High as shit.
And it just like, I feel like now what I'm trying to say is long story long, go with your wife to get stools and get rid of your gym membership. Because I got a sweet pump, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't pump.
Well,
but I got a sweet pump, dude.
Yeah, you got a sick pump.
And I was a very helpful boy. I was a very helpful boy.
That sounds like something someone who wasn't that helpful would say.
I was a very helpful boy, though.
Why would you say that?
This is me talking to my wife on the way home. Well, I was a helpful boy. And she's just like, no, you absolutely were not.
Yeah, and then everyone said, no, you're not. You've been sweating all over the stools.
Dude, I can't tell you, man. I was skyrocketed.
I mean, clearly, it's insane. I mean, it's truly insane, and I'm a little nervous for you.
You do seem to have a bit of a heart rate as well. What's going on
I do
there?
have a heart rate right now.
You seem to have a bit of a heart rate. What's going on?
Yeah, I've been having a heart rate about something that I observed recently. My heart rate is on, by the way. My heart rate is going, just to be clear. And I think it's elevating even as I think about this.
Yeah, talk
right?
to me.
Because it's something I noticed that I was like, what the hell?
What's going on?
And it's gonna be how unbelievably
oh boy
how unbelievably counterintuitive booting a car is.
Oh.
You drive by a car, you see it's booted.
Yeah.
It looks like it hasn't moved in a while.
Yeah.
So the solution that they choose,
You're screaming.
the solution that they choose is to put something on the car that means it can't move more.
Oh.
So it's like, hey, you can't park here anymore. Okay? Hey, you can't park here. Stop leaving your car here. I'm going to boot it. That would be great.
That's funny.
That would be great if you could boot my car for me because
Yeah.
I'm clearly not moving.
Well, I wasn't planning on moving anyway.
I wasn't going to move it.
Yeah.
And so I saw this like truck that was like this rundown truck, clearly hasn't been there forever, and the government decided to boot it. And it's like, okay, awesome.
You did the thing that I was going to do anyway.
Yeah, you made this easier for me. Now I really don't want to move it because I wasn't going to move it earlier. And yes, you could say like, oh, well, yeah, but it's actually for people who leave their car for too long, but then they do want it later. And it's like, I feel like, I don't know what the threshold is for booting, but it's like a long time. I think you have to be in a parking spot to get booted.
Well, I think booting is definitely for people who who don't pay their parking tickets after a while, right?
Is it a parking ticket boot?
I think you can get surprise booted.
You can get a surprise boot?
But I would imagine that's not happening that often.
No, I don't think so.
There's no way, because that would entail that a parking enforcement person has like boots in the back of their car.
No, they have to.
No way
it's a
they're carrying
specific
boots
boot.
around.
It's a specific boot. I feel like it's like someone reports a car that has been somewhere for too long or something, and they come boot it.
It's like a business owner who's like, no loitering outside of my place.
Exactly.
And they're like, well, I want to hang out here. And you're like, no loitering. And they're like, well, I want to hang out here. And they're like, all right, well, I'm going to, glue you to the store. And you're like, well, that's perfect.
Awesome. I love
exactly
that.
what I was
Thank
hoping
you
for.
so much. I'd literally be
just like-
super glued to the side of your store.
Just slap some glue on and stick that.
It's
buddy
like,
to the
yeah,
store.
it is. It does suck, but it doesn't necessarily. It's like it's a punishment that isn't actually solving the issue, which is.
Like I have a second car.
That's why I left this here.
I actually didn't want to drive that
Yeah,
anyway.
no.
I was worried that somebody was going to take it.
Yeah, now
I don't have to worry about
I
that
can
anymore.
really relax now that all my tires are booted.
Do you get double boots? Do they have double boots?
I've never seen double boot, but they got it. There's got to be a threshold,
Well, because one of my
Should we double
favorite
boot this one?
hacks, there's 3 hacks that I love when it comes to cars. There's the fake parking ticket that you put in when you know you're going to illegally park, you just slap a fake parking ticket in your, like where they
I've
would
thought
put
about that. I've thought
Okay,
about
that's
that.
one. Number 2 is the fake leaf that you put on your license plate so that they can't see the full license plate.
Oh.
Right? So that's some criminal behavior for sure, but that's a good one. And then
good.
number 3 is the fake boot. So you park, you know that somebody might boot you because you have a shit ton of
exactly.
outstanding whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
You just slap a fake boot in your car. You go to fucking, who gives a shit, Wawa or whatever the fuck. Wawa, obviously.
Yeah, we're going to Wawa.
Obviously, we're a couple Philly bros.
What do you think? We're
a
not
couple
going
Philly
to
boys.
Wawa?
You think we're not going to go to Wawa?
That's ridiculous.
If you ain't been to Wawa, really, I don't know what you think. I'm going to boot your car, you motherfucker.
Yeah, we'll boot it.
So you slap a fake boot on your car. Now all of a sudden the government's like, wait, this? Oh. And then they're like, well, it's bureaucracy, right? It's like government red tape at that point. It's just like, well, it's out of my hands.
No, you can't. No. You think a parking enforcer is going to see a boot, say, is this a real boot? I'm going to cross-reference this. No, their life just got easier.
Well, and so what I did is I fucked it up the first time because I ordered all 3 of those. That's sort of the Jesse Biddle kind of, this is what the sponsor is. The Jesse Biddle sort of criminal behavior pack.
Yeah, I love
and
this one.
I fucked it up and I put the leaf on the tire and the boot on the license plate, and then the parking fine I took and gave to the Wawa cashier.
Right, yeah. So that was
where I went
insane. Yeah, that was really dumb. I remember when you did that. That was actually a really low point in our brotherhood. I hated that.
Anyway, I do like this idea. Counterintuitive things.
I like counterintuitive punishments that prolong the thing that you originally didn't like. And it is funny to me that I do like the idea of just buying a boot.
Yeah,
online.
just buy a boot.
Just buy a boot. And
The government's not the one. There are plenty of boot manufacturers out there.
Gotta be.
Just go straight to the shop.
Go straight to the freaking manufacturers. You get them wholesale. Buy a ton of boots.
Yeah.
But I do love the idea of every time you park,
Slapping a boot on.
Probably
it's like
takes
a
a
whole process.
while,
Yeah, you
right?
want to talk about a high heart rate.
Boot.
I'll
Throw
go-
a boot on something. You ever booted something?
Yeah, dude. I imagine that's a process for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's also crazy. It's like such a process to boot something.
Well, it's like I used to always worry back when I was living like in the city about like somebody putting my car on blocks where they take all four wheels off and they put it on blocks. So I used to do that after I would park so that they couldn't do it to me.
I know you were late to everything.
I was so late all the time.
Yeah, it was
And then it was such a
insane.
bitch to have to get places. I just be like, oh my God. So I ended up just taking the bus and just leaving my car on blocks.
Exactly.
Guy who just puts his own car on blocks. He's too lazy to put them back on.
He's not lazy and he's not too lazy to put them on blocks.
Yeah,
but he's too lazy to do the reverse. He owns like 30 cars and they're just lined up on his block, all on blocks. Fuck.
This is an expensive habit. Dude. I should probably just chance it. Somebody else does it to me. We're in the same spot.
Well, because you get a new car and then park it and then put it on blocks, which was crazy.
This is leading into
our sponsor.
Let's take a quick break, and
we gotta take a
break. We'll be
break.
right back with more Bropinionated.
Yeah.
Dare to dream. Dare to be different. Dare to stand out in a crowd. This podcast is brought to you by Dixon Ticonderoga #1 pencils. Not a lot of people use them. Everybody uses #2. Try the first version. I feel like they kind of maybe did good then too. I don't know why no one even talks about them, honestly. So, anyway, let's get back to the show.
Hey there. Welcome back to Bropinionated. Hope you enjoyed that break. Jesse.
What's up, baby?
What the hell are you doing on your phone?
We're checking my recovery score on my Whoop.
We're doing a podcast.
If my Whoop says that I need to go to sleep. My sleep quality is so bad, my Whoop will say, in order to catch up on your sleep, you need to go to bed at 7:30 p.m. and wake up at 10:30 a.m. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
No, they should have a program so that if it's longer than 10 hours, that it doesn't suggest that.
It's insane.
Just don't suggest that.
Just don't suggest that.
Please
yeah,
don't.
It'll be like, you have to get about 12 hours of sleep
That's
tonight.
15 hours.
Come on. It's
what
ridiculous.
do you mean?
Yeah,
no
so
one...
today recommended that I went to bed at 8:35 for tonight. I'm just like, that I remember vividly having the bedtime of 8:30 as a child.
Yeah, although I will say I'm in bed. I like being in bed by 8:30. That's awesome.
Really?
Like reading.
But you're leaving your office at like 5 something, and then you just go to bed at 8 something?
I mean, I didn't, but I like to. I didn't last night, but I do like to. Yeah, if I'm in bed by 8:30 reading for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then pass out.
I'm jealous because I love my dear wife, but she is a night owl.
She's a night owl.
Her and I have an agreement now, but no projects can start after 9 p.m. Like I just can't do it. She can do whatever she wants after 9. I don't care. Like she can stay out whatever in the living room and do whatever she wants. But she will ask me to like help with a project. She'll be like, hey, let's she'll
When you say
have
project, you mean like around the house or
she'll
what?
have like a fucking canvas and paint.
Oh.
At like 9:30 and be like, all right, like let's paint.
You're like,
it's like no.
Yeah, but it is a weird thing. There is a thing about like, for some reason, going to bed without your partner is like a thing. Mm-hmm. It like
I would love to normalize just being able to just go to sleep when you're tired.
Right. Yeah. Because it feels like you're almost abandoning them if you go to bed early.
I feel like a shitty husband when I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed, and she's like, what? I'm gonna go to bed. She's like, why? And I'm like, well, the sun's down.
I woke up at...
And I'm extremely tired, and my Whoop says I should have been asleep for 4 hours already.
Yeah, no, literally. But it is not normalized, and it's like, fortunately, my partner, whose name I would never say, she's not a sponsor,
she's not a sponsor.
She's just not a sponsor. And if
she's
you want to be
the
a
opposite
sponsor,
of a sponsor, weirdly enough.
Yeah, if anything, she's freaking drags us through the mud.
Created multiple competing podcasts and funded them.
Called Sociniated, called Lobinionated. And they're not great names. Look, they're not great.
She should put more effort into
She doesn't have, she's more about quantity over quality. That's who she is as a woman.
She's a bad person.
Yeah. No, I know. I should try to cut her loose, but sometime every few months she gives me a back rub.
She gives you a back rub. Huh?
Yeah,
She gives you the
so
old bi-monthly back
yeah,
rub
and I
and a
also,
little bit of that. She throws in a couple kind of knock jokes, knocks you off your feet.
Did you know? Okay, maybe.
Did I know what?
Did you know that bi-monthly
Yes.
can be both?
Yes. I mean, if we want to do more, we could do a whole English language podcast because I obviously I've had my gripes in the past.
How can
Lunacy.
you say one word? It
And
means two
words.
opposite things.
Drives me nuts.
Because that's not like a word that in different contexts can mean. It is in the exact same context can mean two different things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that bi-monthly. Oh, so you're doing it twice a month? Oh no, every other month.
Yeah.
What?
Dude, drives me nuts.
That's fucking crazy.
Bi-weekly. It's so stupid.
Well, because when you think you're like, oh, you get paid bi-weekly, that's like, that's every other week because getting paid twice a week would be crazy. But like, still, the fact that it could mean that.
Yeah. Another one is resigned and re-signed.
Oh.
Right? Which is re-signed is with a dash and then resigned is without a dash. And like I had a friend who texted me like, oh yeah, that coach just resigned with the team. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, I really like that guy. Like, that sucks that he's not coming back. And he was like, what do you mean he's not coming back? And I was like, oh, you meant he re-signed. You know?
Yes.
like, that doesn't even, that's just the same word.
It's crazy.
And they mean the exact opposite. Anyway.
That's fucked up.
So
anyway, sorry. Yeah, that wasn't.
I am coming in.
Well, no.
I am.
No. Listen, I just been noticing you like fidgeting. Your heart rate is at, I'm seeing now 200.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to check in. Like, is everything good? What's going on?
Okay, so what's going on with splitting the bill at a restaurant? Hold for applause. We go to a restaurant with a few friends.
Yeah.
Not long ago. A fortnight at most.
Okay.
And it's a birthday party. We're all having a nice time. There's 6 of us, maybe 7 of us.
Mm-hmm.
The bill comes to the table. I specifically didn't order anything expensive. I specifically didn't drink. I just kind of hung out, was just kind of there for a birthday party, wanted to eat some food, and that's it, right? Like I'm not running the tab up. Mm-hmm. But maybe like a couple people were running the tab up.
Yeah.
But there's this expectation that we are all going to split the bill.
Yeah.
Right? And I hate that shit. And when you don't know people well enough to say something, so then you say, "Oh, can we split it like itemized?"
Yep.
And then you get that look from the waiter, like you want me to what? You want me to like? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, no. I mean, I just maybe itemize like just because you split it up, but just by people,
Yeah,
by persons. And they're like, I mean, I don't think we have that in the back. We don't have that.
We don't have
do that. We don't do that. And so now, okay, one person then went, you know what? I'll pay for it. You guys just Venmo me.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. We can do it that way. Bill, the credit card gets dropped. Bill gets paid for. We now have to Venmo. I'm looking at the itemized, but we send off the Venmo, but we know the Venmo is light. Like we know it feels light when it comes off the phone, when it comes just out of the phone and into the ether, into the sky, back down, and into the phone, right? So, because that's what happens, right? It goes up into the satellites.
Yeah,
Spins,
it whirls around a bit.
They tuck it, they tight it, and then they send it back down.
Yeah.
And I see his face when the Venmo hits his phone. He just goes like, that seems light as shit.
Oh, God. So you're Venmoing right on the spot?
Yes.
No.
Well, you can't Venmo later.
Venmo request. Kick it. Punt it. Request me.
Yeah, but if you get requested, then he's going to request too much.
That's true.
The bill's $500, right? That's what it was. It was $500.
Yeah.
We only spent $80 between the two of us.
Yep.
With tax and tip. We did the math.
Yep.
We send $80, but that thing's getting split 3 ways.
Yep.
So now it's light. He's now on the hook for 200 something.
Yep.
And I'm just, it put us in this weird spot, right? Because the waiter has now made me feel like a fucking douche for being like, hey, brother, if you don't mind just kind of splitting this up by like what I ordered so I can pay for the thing that I ate.
Right.
And he's like, oh yeah, I could do that. I could also like, do you want me to rub your shoulders too? Do you want a foot massage while I'm at it? And you're like, oh my God, bro, like maybe, but don't make it weird.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we got to figure out a better system. There's just got to be something.
Without a doubt, because all you're doing is like basically every restaurant creates an awkward social interaction for every group there. When you go to a restaurant, you see a group of friends. Guaranteed at the end of it, one person's gonna be feeling like they spent too much. One person may be feeling like they got slighted
Every time.
Guaranteed.
Every time.
And so it's like, what the fuck are we doing? I think it's the restaurant's responsibility to like figure that shit out for us. And
I just think there needs to be like just automatic intention from the beginning that when the bill comes out, it will come out to each and every person individually.
it's been how it is forever. Literally forever. And there's so few. It needs to be standard. Hey, the standard is to split it up evenly. And then if you want to change that, that's what gets the waiter like, oh, really?
Oh, you want to pay with it all together?
Wait. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And no, I completely agree. And another thing a little bit about this is the Venmo aspect that I wanted to touch upon as well. There's another awkward thing that can occur here, which is sometimes I might like get something for some friends. It's not like crazy expensive or anything, but I just kind of forget to Venmo request.
Yeah.
But then they Venmo request me later. Yeah. And it's completely fair, right? Totally. It's on me to send that Venmo request. I can't be like, oh, well, I paid for your meal. I don't know how much it was, but therefore you shouldn't be able to Venmo request me later.
Yes.
But it feels like that in the moment. You're like, hold on. I paid for that thing like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And now I'm getting Venmo requested?
Yep.
But
it's
the truth is completely fair, all on me. But it's just a weird thing. There's just money and friends is like a weird. It is generally weird.
And restaurants are a uniquely weird thing.
Yep.
Because it's such a community experience, and I want it to still be that, but let's like kind of maybe find some avenues to make it a little bit more individualized. But the Venmo request thing is funny because when you send a Venmo request, you sort of feel like a dickhead.
Totally.
Right? You're kind of like, you owe me $100, and I know you might pay me later, but I kind of want it now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you also kind of want...
I'm willing to wait. And it's sort of that feeling of, like, when somebody sends me a Venmo request, I'm sort of like, all right, I was going to pay you. You know? And it's like when my wife, whose name obviously we won't say.
No.
When I'm walking to the kitchen to do the dishes, and she goes, hey, do you mind doing the dishes? And I'm like, I was going to do them.
Yeah. It's the expectation.
Gonna do that.
It's like you were gonna do that sort of like nice favor, and then they took it away as a favor, and now it's an obligation, and now you're just like, well, now I don't really want to do this anymore because now you expect me to pay you back.
Right?
Or no. I need to pay you back on my time.
I'm doing it on my terms
because I'm a sweet man. I'm a very helpful boy when I pay you back.
You're a helpful boy as well.
Yeah, I'm very helpful when I pay you back preemptively, but when you say, hey, you're really dragging your feet on this. Give me that money.
Yeah.
You're sort of like, well, now I'd rather not.
Maybe 24-hour statute of limitations on that one.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of that feeling of when somebody holds the door for you and you say, oh, thank you so much. And they go, you're welcome. And you're like, don't say you're welcome like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like a no problem or a no worries. Like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, no worries. Somebody, they make dinner for the family or whatever. You have friends over, you make dinner, and everybody says, oh, Jesse, this is so good. Thank you so much for making dinner. And I just go, you're welcome.
Oh
my God.
You're welcome.
Now everybody's like, get this food the fuck away from me. Get me out of here.
I hate him. I hate his food.
I've just ruined the night.
The night's been ruined by you saying that because you shouldn't. Because it's so gross. It's like, what are you, in the fucking 1400s with that shit?
I don't know.
When all they could say was "you're welcome." What are you, the fucking medieval times with that, dude?
What are you talking about?
Holy shit, we're on the same page.
What I'm referencing.
Damn, we are very similar guys.
We're not at all.
I love how aligned we are. That's awesome.
Why did you just talk about the Middle Ages?
What? Why did I just talk about the? Oh
what
my God!
What are you saying?
Oh my God, dude.
They've said you're welcome for a long time, but it has nothing to do with the Middle Ages. That's actually not at all what I was talking about. In fact, I think you may have ruined sort of the run we were going on.
Dude, oh
I thought
my
we had a
God,
clip out of this, but...
You clearly don't get it, dude.
And that's the show.
And that's the show. So if you want to follow us, follow us at Bropinionated.
Get on YouTube. Get on TikTok.
We're trying to,
Fuck the other ones.
Now, if you listen to this episode, go follow us. Okay.
If you listen to the episode, you're a fucking G, dude.
You're
We
awesome.
love
Hey,
you.
if you haven't rated our podcast on whatever you listen, make sure you give it
Rate
a
it
rate.
5 stars and write whatever you want.
Thanks so much for listening today. Really appreciate everyone who came out.
You're welcome. Ugh, it's so gross.
I hate you.
Turn to you next week.